Hey, and welcome to the Fu-Sung Elizabeth Cookye Show, CEO and Mistress Secretary of Goddesses Incorporated, the ultimate in otaku and anime world, Bishoujo Senshi, and anything dealing with the fighting video game universe. Today's topic of choice is anime and video games that are made into live-action movies and done wrong. So, there's so many movies that have been made from comic books and anime and all that made into live-action movies, but we're not going to even go there. So I'm just going to narrow it down to one specific topic. Capcom's latest release of the Legend of Chun-Li Movie. Okay. People, let's address the first fact right here, right now. Kristen Cruick, you are not Chinese. Glad I got that off my chest. Woo! Anime fans, otakus, can you feel the love right now? Can you understand me? Kristen Cruick is not fucking Chinese. Does that bitch even look like Chun-Li? I don't think so. And then when they even did the movie, the storyline was so wrong. Everything was wrong. I mean, from the beginning to the end of that movie, that bitch was wrong. According to the Udon storyline, licensed by Capcom and all of the manga that they've written, I do not remember Chun-Li actually wanting to be a pianist and then wanting to be some young and single girl that was wrapped up into some ultra twist of fate of a spinning bird having something to do with a medallion that her father gave her. The web triads and shit has nothing to even do with the Street Fighter storyline. I don't even know why Capcom even allowed Hollywood to fuck up their own story. You know, I gotta give respect to Stan Lee, because at least when the X-Men movie came out, as bad as that was too, and the Spider-Man movies, he actually stood in with Hollywood to make sure they didn't fuck up his shit. Come on, how come they could get the Harry Potter books and their stories and their shit right when that's made into movies, or Lord of the Rings when that's done in the movies, but anytime they want to do an anime or anything that deals with the comic book world, they fuck that shit up to high heaven. Let's look at the Chun-Li movie for a minute. Anime fans, I want you to feel me. Otaku, feel me too. We already addressed the fact that Kristen Cruick is not fucking Chinese. Okay. Now, the person that played Bison, I think it's what, McDougal or some shit like that? What happened to the psycho power? They never even talked about Shadowloo. And, oh yeah, the movie called it Shadowlao. What the fuck is Shadowlao? It was either Shadow Law in English or Shadowloo in Japanese. He did not try to own that much land. In fact, he was a drug lord that was so revered, he had to stay underground, because if he was even seen, the world would get him. You know, that's why he abducted fighters, so he could have that many bodyguards. Cammy White, hello. Back to Chun-Li. Let's see. Father was never rich, and the mother was never Caucasian. In fact, Chun-Li's mother was never ever even mentioned throughout any of the Street Fighter games. They just said that should anything happen to Chun-Li's father, Gen would help to complete her training in the world of Kung Fu and Wushu, which for all y'all Chinese people, Wushu with proper tones means way of combat. Let's see. When they tried to explain Rose, also known as White Rose in the movie, they didn't explain her story right, because when Bison was looking psycho magic or psycho power, which he learned from a girl from Italy named Master, she taught him psycho power, but then he manipulated it so that he can make something new out of it with his own technologies. For him to become the pure evil that he wanted to be and master psycho energy, he had to dispel all the good energy that was in him. And by doing that, created a separate entity known as Rose. Rose is actually Bison's soul. They are intertwined by fate. And when Bison returned back to Italy to destroy Master, the one that taught him psycho power, he destroyed her, and in the midst left baby Rose. So this whole thing about him having a wife, Bison was never capable of having love anyway. Who would want to love that idiot? And the whole of putting his consciousness into Rose, that shit was mad wrong. Robin Shu, sorry, we'll always remember you as Liu Kang of Mortal Kombat. It was a nice try that you tried to play Gen. As last as I remember, it was Chun-Li's father that taught her the Kikoken, not Gen. And by the way, Gen has leukemia, and he's old, and he's not tied up with the triads. And in fact, he was never even a lifelong friend of Bison. Why did they even put that into the movie? That made, like, no sense at all. Bison never had friends like that. Yes, his main operations was in Thailand, but they also spanned into East Asia, India, China, Hong Kong. Yeah, he was like almost like a one-person yakuza where he blackmailed many people into working for them. Otherwise, they got funeralized. Vega worked for Bison. He wasn't freelance like that. What happened to Sagat? What happened to a real Balrog? The person that played Balrog, can't think of his name. Maybe that's because he's not important enough like that to even remember. He tried to do his best, but I think they could have chose someone else that could play a better Balrog. Don't you think so? Capcom, every time you have a movie made, it sucks. If y'all wanted to have a real Chun-Li, y'all could have had Zhang Zi, or Michelle Yeoh, or Kelly Hu, or even if y'all wanted to get whack and choose some any old Asian actress, I would have took Tia Carrera of the Relic Hunter, aka True Lies. I worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the early 90s. Yeah, the Eminem bitch girl. I guess that's just about it. Y'all messed up a movie which I thought that would never be made. Chun-Li, which actually is Chun-Li, spring plum in Chinese for all y'all that knows Chinese. Chinese 101, Chun-Li, first tone, second tone. Yeah, Capcom, y'all really did the video game world wrong. I felt betrayed as a fan, and I'm sure many people of my type of origin that plays with nothing but female characters felt betrayed too. Should y'all ever decide to make another remake of that movie, which I highly doubt, please next time use a Chinese lady. They seem to have got it right in the first Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia as Bison. He was a much better Bison than one that is now, even though he died of AIDS. God bless his soul. And that storyline was just totally wrong too. At least he got the concepts of Bison a lot better. Yeah, and guess what? Chun-Li was Chinese. Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood. Lick these nuts.